My not that deep of a day today is getting held back in high school is not that deep because then you get an extra grade, an extra group of friends, and then you get put on a whole new path for life where you meet people that you wouldn't have otherwise. And yeah, really grateful for all the people that I met because I got held back. So
Wait, it's not that deep. Sanjay, welcome to Not That Deep.
thank you so much for having me on.
I wanted you to come on for so many reasons. One of them is I haven't seen you in a while. And the best way to make plans with somebody is to have them on my podcast. The second is you have, I think, a truly remarkable story of since I've known you in high school to where you are now, of you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. And you remain this like enlightened, bright, soulful person that I adore. And you support me. And I support you, even though I don't always know what's going on. So I want to take a quick trip down memory lane to get us started.
Thank you for that intro, firstly. Yeah, it's great to see you. It's been a while, and I'm excited to reminisce a bit.
Me too. Reminiscing is like one of my favorite things to do, I feel like in terms of hobbies.
Yeah, it depends what you're reminiscing about, right? Like, it's like, how I asked you to prom. I don't know if you really want to think about that too much, but
Yeah. So if those listening are wondering about our undeniable chemistry, we went to prom together. I need you to tell the story
yeah,
of how you asked me.
I wanted to mix it up. A lot of people do boring, mundane, replicable shit.
Mm.
So yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to pretend to rob you. And my friends agreed, and your mom agreed. Everyone agreed. And the world was a somewhat different place then. I don't know if I'd try and do that again today. But I thought it went really well. Like, you were genuinely stunned. So my friends and I, with cooperating with Dana's mom, we got to her place before Dana. Where were you coming home from? Do you remember that
I was
day?
asked that on a date, which was then a ploy to get me out of the house.
True. Yeah, real roller coaster of emotions there. And yeah, you came home and you look like you were gonna have a heart attack.
Why?
Because we were there in like masks, like acting as if we were looting the place. And yeah, and so you saw my friends first, and then once it became clear that you were about to like call the police, I popped out and asked you to prom. And I think you were like speechless, but you weren't going to say no at that point because you respected the creativity, even though you couldn't articulate it in the moment. And yeah, prom was great. You were very understanding, accommodating prom date, and I really appreciate that.
Of course, Sanjay. The way you asked me to prom stays, it is in a rent stabilized portion of my brain. Like it lives there forever because like traumatic experiences scar you.
Yeah.
And like I just went on a date, I was on a high. I was like, this might be it. And then I walk into my apartment, and there's two masked men at the end of my dining room table in full ski masks. Like I've only seen that on Law and Order SVU. Like I'd never seen that in the flesh. And then I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But I feel like the scariest part of it all is that like I didn't fight, flight, or freeze. I was frozen. Like in those scenarios, like I'm not doing that much.
Yeah. I don't think it was that deep, to be honest. I think like
Totally.
but aren't you glad you had that? For me, it was kind of like, you have something traumatic like that happen to you, and then it's hard to really beat that, and you're ready for anything emotionally from there onwards. Kind of like really bad turbulence in a plane. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're gonna die, and then you survive, and then at that point, you know, you're good.
That's actually a really good point. Like you need these kind of extremes to like level set when things are more normal, but like your mind could easily trick you into thinking like that's the worst. And then I want to ask, when there is turbulence on a plane, are you freaking out? Are you calm? What's your vibe?
Yeah, I've gotten
What's your
like
TV turbulence vibe?
I've been flying so much that now I'm way more chill with it. But there was one experience a few summers ago. I had a great Euro trip with my friends, Mad Mate, and I was coming back. They're great people. And yeah, they're very handsome people. So we had an amazing trip, and then I was coming back, and I could see lightning not too far away. Like, I could see a storm, and it was getting closer and closer, and we were getting closer to Newark. And I've been on a plane that's been diverted before, or you have to emergency land somewhere, kind of thing. And the pilot basically, he got on the PA and he was like, "Fuck it, we're gonna land this, but it's gonna get it's gonna get a little bumpy." I'm paraphrasing what he said. And so I was like, "All right, this has happened before; it'll be fine." And we were getting tossed around for a solid 20 minutes. I was like audibly like groaning. I almost started praying, honestly. Like we were just getting, it was crazy. And after I landed, turbulence is one of those things you can't really tell that other people around you are phased, right? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, are you where I am right now? But I asked flight attendants after, I was like, that was pretty bad, right? And they were like, yeah, that was pretty bad. They've apparently experienced worse. But so after that, after I got home, I was in such a daze. Yeah, after I got off the plane, and then I got home, and it was wild. And then it was really random. I saw a soccer player who I'd interviewed a few weeks ago. I saw him in the line in security at Newark. While I was in a daze, the whole thing felt so surreal. Yeah, it was a funny, bizarre day. But yeah, so that's one of those examples of like not everything in life can be perfect, right? You have something good happen, good trip, and then crazy turbulence. Not everything is like a smooth ride, no pun intended. So yeah, you had a great date, and then I had to pretend to,
rob the shit out of me.
Yeah, to bring you back down to earth.
I loved it. And I think, and I do want to give an ode to my grandma, because when I sent her our prom photos, which we looked amazing.
We did.
My hair was straight as hell.
Yeah, I got some shit for not fully being clean shaven, but I thought it was fine.
No one on my end said a word. I would fix whoever's on your team, right?
Yeah.
My grandma would always say that in our photos, I looked like a Persian princess. I'm Jewish. And you looked like a Sri Lankan king.
Aww.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And I was like, you could just say we look awesome.
She's a sweet lady.
She was. Sanjay, so you bring up soccer. Clearly you have a passion. I want to go back to high school.
Yeah.
Because that's where our chapter begins. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about you before you met me. like I don't know when I first met you.
But you knew who I was.
Sanjay, like you're a legend. Absolutely.
I knew who you were too. You
really?
were also, yeah.
That's awesome. It's freaking awesome.
You were a superstar in waiting then, so.
Yeah, I was a lady in waiting.
Yeah.
You were a soccer star, if you will. Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't say star. I was decent for high school soccer. Yeah, we had a lot of good kids in our town. We had a good team.
This isn't about them. What? Get their ass on Not That Deep.
I will.
Okay, no need. What was your relationship with soccer in high school?
Yeah, it's a pretty defining one for my life. I grew up playing soccer and basketball. Initially, I loved basketball before soccer, but all of us in suburbs like Westfield get to a point where we realize we're not going to be in the NBA sooner than we realize we're not going to be a pro soccer player or whatever. So I gave up basketball going into junior year of high school and focused on soccer. And didn't go anywhere in the summer. Worked really hard to make the varsity team, which I had a feeling I would, but then I really wanted to play a lot. And I did, and it was going well. And then I got concussed right before we had Hurricane Sandy. Remember that? Yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah.
It was a wild few weeks. So yeah, I got concussed before that, and then I thought my season was over, and then school was off for long enough for me to come back to play for the end of our postseason, and yeah, I got re-injured after that pretty soon, and didn't really realize how bad it was until our season ended, and yeah, stopped playing soccer after that. So that set in motion a whole different timeline for my life. As you know, I got held back in school. I stopped going to school, got held back, and that's how we met. Yeah.
Next, no. So when you first what was your first concussion like? What was that feeling like?
Yeah, it was. Sometimes you don't feel it right away. You can't tell right away. It can take a day or two to feel the symptoms. But I collided heads with my friend Zach Shiel. Went down. We took a second to get up, but then we just played the rest of the game. And then later that night we had Indian pin. You remember that? Probably can't say that anymore, but it was a fun.
You're fine.
Yeah. We had that, and I remember getting hit in the head a couple times with, those balls weren't hard, but it was like, I remember just feeling a little weird. And then I went home, and it took me like an hour to read like 2 pages of a textbook. And that's when I realized like something was up. And then I tried to go to school again the next day, and I felt super sleepy, and I had to go home. And I think that happened 2 days in a row, where I had to go to school and then go home because I didn't feel well. But yeah, I went to the trainer, Chris, who's back at Westfield. Shout out Chris Flores, great guy. And we went through a questionnaire, and he was like, yeah, you have a concussion. And that's how I knew. It didn't it was a quote unquote normal concussion. Yeah, I missed school the rest of that week, and then the hurricane happened. Like, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Like, I was thinking about going to the Jets game that weekend. I had season tickets for the Jets once upon a time for a little bit, back when they weren't like as bad. But yeah, so that's what that was like.
Okay, so you're like resting during Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, during the hurricane, like my friends, we'd all just go to someone's house and like play FIFA and chill. And I was like in a chair, like facing away from the TV, just so everyone was kind of like messing with me. And I was just like, yeah, I need to do this to get better. And I thought, yeah, I'd be fine soon. So.
And then when did you actually start feeling better? Because then you were cleared.
Yeah. Like about 2 weeks later, like I was allowed to play after 2 weeks. So yeah, I started playing right after school resumed pretty much. And I felt normal. Like I was playing soccer again for about a week. I felt totally fine. But sometimes you can feel fine, but your brain apparently isn't totally fine. So yeah, I was playing a lot more than I thought I would after the injury. And it was an accumulation of hits, not just like collisions, but like heading the ball and a whole bunch of things. And after 3 games, after the 3rd game, I was like, all right, something's not right. And we had just won a big game, and it was really cool moment, really fulfilling. Like everyone was really excited. And then when we got back to the locker room, I was like thinking like something's kind of off. And I played one more game after that. And yeah, then our season ended, and then I had to kind of like, there was a lot of, it was a fun, exciting time. There's a lot of adrenaline, but once that subsides and you're home and you're by yourself, you realize something's, not right.
Okay, so this is still junior year.
Yeah.
So then you're going into senior year. You're still having symptoms, or you're subsided?
Oh yeah. Like it was, there's been symptoms since then, but it got a lot worse really quick before it started to get better. I'd say by the time I was getting into, so yeah, I was held back, and then by the following fall is when it started to get a bit better. And by that time I was in year grade. I was a junior again by then. But yeah, in between it was a very humbling thing because, one day you're, what our town was like. Everyone cares about, grades and sports and where you're going to go to college. That's a whole big thing. And so I was really focused on that and that frame of mind. And then within a few months, like I wasn't going to school. I was seeing a lot of doctors. I was going to like the Children's Specialized Hospital close to where you used to live.
Mm-hmm.
So it was humbling, but then, with that also comes gratitude, because when you're in places, in environments like that, you see people that have disabilities that they were born with, or last longer, and are more severe in a lot of ways. So, and you see their families too, and that puts everything in perspective. So initially, I think when adversity hits anyone in any way, like there's going to be a period where you feel bad for yourself, but you got to snap out of it quick and realize what you have going for you, and how you can get better.
You have your perspective on this of like how it is what it is, and you just have to kind of adapt. Like, did you have that mindset back then, or do you think that's kind of been enforced as time has gone on?
Yeah, it's easy to talk about it in hindsight, for sure. There's like points early on where you realize how much things are going to change, and those are really tough moments for me and my family. That was tough. But I think anyone is able to adapt in situations of adversity. Like, you don't really have a choice. So yeah, like you just totally adjust your standards and expectations for life, and you get used to it, and knowing that things will eventually change. But what was cool and fun in September and October of that year, like going to a party with your friends after a game, like 6 months from then, it's like something totally different, like just being able to watch a game or something
Hmm.
for a little bit, right? And anyone going through that would be forced to adjust.
So you're in your senior year and you're getting help. You're getting treated for a concussion, or is it like a different form of a concussion?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's called post concussion syndrome, but it's basically just like you can see all the doctors in the world and they can throw all these terms at you, but the truth is that there's a lot that they don't know yet about the brain and concussions, and they're not gonna for a long time. So no matter how much they're paid to come up with these terms and these complex definitions, like the reality is, all you can do is wait and let time heal you. So yeah, I was fortunate to get a lot of good medical attention, but that being said, like the only thing that could really help was time. And there were ways to get back into like getting used to school and things, like there was help for that, that I really appreciate. But in terms of like physically recovering, it took time.
At some point your senior year, you were told you had to repeat senior year. Or
Right.
did you repeat senior year or repeat junior year?
I repeated junior year. Yeah, I remember that day pretty well because I had to, after I stopped going to school, which was like a month or two after the injury, like right around the time of Christmas break. I was getting homeschooled, or home instruction, they call it. Like they'd send teachers to your house. And I knew that wasn't going well. So it was almost Memorial Day. It was like in May. It was the day that our new high school soccer coach was being introduced too. So it was kind of like it was definitely a day I realized like how different
Hmm.
life was going to be. Because yeah, I went with my mom to school, and it was like a round table of people that were basically my guidance counselor and other people told me that,
Mm.
this isn't working, you got to get held back. Which wasn't a great feeling, but I knew it was coming. But it was that was tough. I've never felt anything like that. And then after that, um, my mom and I went to Lord and Taylor. Or IP Lord and Taylor. I saw,
Ugh, so
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I would have been just told to go to Lord and Taylor, but they were like, "No, you need Lexapro." Lord and Taylor would have done the trick.
Yeah, we stopped there on the way home. And then yeah, later that day, I went to the meeting for soccer where the new coach was introduced, and he talked to like all the kids at the school, and you had to write down your name and what grade you were in. And I wrote down my name, and I wrote down grade 11 instead of grade 12.
Mm.
And my friends saw that, and they were joking. It was kind of a joke that I would get held back, but no one actually thought it was going to happen. And then my friends saw that, and they made a joke about it, and I was like, "Nah, like I actually just got held back." And so yeah, so then they felt really bad. They felt sad, and then the meeting was happening, and I could tell like they just felt bad about it, and then they talked to me after that, and yeah, that was a tough day, but um, it led to put me on a different life path that I'm definitely grateful for.
No one was like dealing with that big of problems when we were 16 and 17. Like you, like I just can't, because you're going through the health of it all. Like you're probably not yourself, first and foremost. Like your head is in pain. Correct me if I'm wrong. And now you're being told that you have to repeat a grade. Like, where is your mental health at during this?
Yeah, it wasn't like that bad. First off, I have two amazing little dogs, so I got to spend a lot of time with them every day. They're lifesavers, and yeah, I have I have an amazing family and a good group of friends, especially like a small circle of super close friends who understood what I was going through. Because a lot of kids at that age, they can't really relate, and they're really focused on, like I said, college and everything that's going on in their life. But yeah, I had a really good um, support system, and we lived in a nice town. So um, yeah, it wasn't like I just wanted to be normal.
Mm.
That's I just wanted to get back to like normalcy. It wasn't like, oh my God, my life can't be this and that. It's like, just want to get back to square one. And I knew that would happen eventually.
You're really strong, like physically, mentally,
Appreciate it.
emotionally. Like, no, I just hope you know that. Like, and you feel that. Like, I can't even fathom experiencing something like that now at such a young age, later in life. Like, that's life altering. And you're able to look at it and feel positive about it. Like, it's amazing. Did you play soccer your senior year?
No. I stopped playing. Technically, I stopped playing. Like I didn't play in a game again, really, until actually I did for a little bit. So,
I'm like, if you're his doctor, turn it off.
so fast forward like a year, and I spent like soccer remained like my connection to the outside world because I wasn't going to school anymore, but I would still go and watch my team practice and play games, the high school team and then my club team, FC Premier. So yeah, and that way it became an even bigger part of my life in a way. And a year later, this was right after prom house, we had our last game for FC Premier. And I asked my coach, can you just put me in for a few minutes at the end of the game? Because I want to play again with my friends. And he waited until, and I had to like, I was leaving the house and I had to like dress in a way where it looked like I wasn't going to go play a game. And my coach even asked me, he's like, why are you dressed like this? And I was like, I had to, like, why are you wearing this many clothes? And I was like, I had to sneak out, like looking like I wasn't going to play.
To your parents?
Yeah. And then I'm not going to say who he was. I don't want to totally out him, but he's a great guy. And he gave me this moment at the end of the game, and he put me in at the very end, and I got absolutely trucked by someone. Like I didn't really hold back. I wanted to try and put in a challenge in soccer, as we say, put in a tackle, and I got trucked, but I didn't hit my head. It was fine. It was just like shoulder to shoulder. I just got bumped and I fell, but didn't hit my head at all. That was good. But that was really funny, and we can laugh about it in hindsight.
When did your parents find out?
I don't think they did, and I hope they don't listen to this. But
they probably don't support you in this way.
But yeah, like occasionally I would jump into practices and stuff, be like what we call a neutral in soccer, someone who basically can't like be defended. So like I lace up my cleats and play a little bit, but not like in games and stuff really ever.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for explaining all of that. It's amazing. And now, do you have, like, at that time, you're a senior, are you thinking college? Are you thinking community college? Like, what do you feel like your next steps are? Do you feel held back by your concussion at all?
Yeah, I knew I was gonna go to community college. Like it was either that or Rutgers, basically. Like my grades were still good enough from earlier in high school that I could have gotten in. Um, but community college just felt like the right move in my gut. I think you should always go with your gut, and that was what my gut was telling me. So it was a good way to ease into things, living at home, going to Union County, working right after classes. Yeah, that was an intense 2 years. It really flew by, and it was a very rewarding experience. It was humbling, but it was rewarding.
What were you studying? And were you having head pain at all?
Yeah. I mean, but it got better with time, and I was able to manage it better, especially by the second year of community college. I did what's called a liberal studies degree, which basically means you can pick your courses according to your preferences. And I was in what was then called the American Honors Program. So it was like a very cool opportunity that my guidance counselor at Westfield identified for me. So yeah, did that for 2 years, and I wanted to get into like a top school, and if I couldn't, then I would have no problem going to Rutgers and doing what was affordable and being close to home still.
What did you want to study at the next school, like your next step? Because at this point, your friends are already in their 4-year programs, and you are like on Sanjay's timeline.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you were not like, but that's not fair because they're this and they're that.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, you were pretty accepting of this is my path and it doesn't look like everybody else's.
Yeah.
But it never will.
Yeah. And it's that's a great point. And it's only like widened that timeline gap between me and the people my age since then. And I learned then that it was something that I just kind of had to you can't like disregard it. Like you see them all the time, you talk to them, you know what's going on in their lives, but you have to accept that things happen for a reason and be at peace with that. So I knew what I wanted to study. I knew it would take me longer to get the degree because not all the credits would transfer and stuff. And then once I got to school, I decided to do a master's too. So I finished school way later than them, and then my job search and career outlook, which I can explain that too if you want. That took longer too to flesh out. So now I just turned 30 recently, and I'm in a very different place than my friends are. But yeah, I learned early on to accept that's how life would go.
I know where you went, but where did you go? What did you study? And what was college like with, I guess, starting as a freshman and people are like 2 years younger than you? You're like, bitch, I'm used to this. Who's going to prom with me?
Yeah. So I went to USC, the real USC, the University of Southern California. No offense to South Carolina people, but
I have a lot of South Carolina fans.
They can't be saying USC, sorry. So yeah, best place ever. Very fortunate to go there and study international relations. And then I did a master's degree too in public diplomacy. So I basically studied to be a diplomat, and for different reasons didn't end up doing that out of school. And now I don't know if I can ever do that because of our wonderful president, but that's a different podcast, right?
It's this one. People know where I stand.
But I stayed involved with soccer there too. I got into coaching as soon as I got there. Built up one of the men's club programs there, which I'm very proud of. So yeah, it was a very fulfilling time. And yeah, it was funny. I lived in a transfer dorm, but even a lot of the transfers were younger than me. And then right next to us was like a freshman dorm and a lot of the freshmen became some of my closest friends too. And they're closer in age to my brother, who's 4 years younger than me. So yeah, I have a pretty eclectic group of friends at home, between home and school. And but they're all pretty mature, right? I think everyone's personalities and levels of maturity are similar. So
age is just a number.
Yeah.
But I look back to my college experience and everything was like, everything has to be the way that it has to be. And like, if not, then it's wrong. And I think that you, again, were just like adapting and accepting. It's very inspirational.
Yeah, I don't really care. You shouldn't take yourself too seriously or look too closely at that stuff. And you can't really, what I've learned more than anything through this very unpredictable last 14 years or so, 13 years is you can't really care what people think, right? In terms of like going to community college, where we live, when you tell people that you're going to community college, you know what I mean? They're kind of like, wait, what's up with that? But I knew why I had to go, and they kind of knew that too, but there's still like a stigma with that, which is ridiculous. But
it's so ridiculous.
But even after that, I think people now realize because the cost of school, but even like with my job search, like I didn't have a full-time job right out of USC, and that confused a lot of people, but I knew what I was doing. And I think it's about what the concussion experience imbued me with is like perspective that you don't want to look back on life and have regrets, because I had a very real taste of like my own mortality
Mm.
and how quickly things can be taken away.
So clearly, soccer is a big part of your journey and your life and your passions because you were saying earlier, like, even though you couldn't play, you still wanted to be watching the club games and the high school games. You still wanted to be involved in soccer. You started the men's club at USC. Wait, now I don't even know what I was going to ask. Like, I guess, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Like being still involved in soccer, but not being able to play? Like, do you just love the sport? Do you love the people, camaraderie? What is it about soccer that even though you cannot play, you still want to be in it?
Yeah. Soccer, soccer brings together an incredibly diverse group of people. So even in Westfield, like we were exposed to a lot of coaches from different kinds of places, and then getting to USC. So the team had already, to be clear, I didn't start that particular team. It existed as like a kind of ragtag team, and I helped build it up as the first coach, make it into like a legit club program, and that was really cool because USC. The reason that happened is because USC doesn't have an NCAA team yet. So there's a few club teams there because there's still a lot of good players who wanted to go to school and have fun instead of doing like a serious varsity sport. Um, so yeah, at USC especially, not just with the soccer team, but like the school in general, being in Los Angeles, that was really eye opening because where we're from is or was like 95% white. Now it's a little different. It's gotten a bit more diverse, but yeah, being in an environment like that and around people who love soccer was really
Mm.
cool because you meet a lot of different kinds of people from all over the world.
Got it. Okay. So you graduate, you want to be a diplomat. I don't know what that is. Like what? Como se dice diplomat?
So I thought about being a diplomat. That's what my like academic background set me up to be. But I was so passionate about soccer that I wanted to get a very specific type of job in soccer that I didn't exactly have experience for. So I thought I was going to get the job, and then found out about 6 months after school that I wasn't going to get exactly what I wanted. So at that point, um, I kind of had to decide what I was gonna do, and my gut just told me to wait and keep. So I had started doing soccer journalism too while I was at school.
Soccer journalism.
Yeah, I'd been writing remotely. Obviously, being at school, I couldn't travel and cover games and stuff. But yeah, after graduating, I decided to do that more seriously, to at least network, if not do it, longer term. And yeah, I've done it since then. So about a year. So we're about a year after I graduated, or a year and a half. I decided to do a regular 9 to 5. Like an opportunity popped up that at a certain point we all need to, make real money and stuff. but
Unfortunately, yeah.
I kept doing soccer journalism on the side. So basically, I'd use my vacation days on that. So I went from like not having a full time job to like doing a full time job and still doing that, not having any time. And then, yeah, my contract for that full time job ended in April of this year. So since then, I've been doing soccer journalism much more intensely than I was before. And after the World Cup, which is next summer, planning to go to law school, that's something that I always thought about doing, but because of the head injury, it was tough to read and write, and you need to do a lot of that at law school. So yeah, so that's where I'm at now, timeline wise.
I'm so proud of you
Thank you.
for so many reasons. You forgot to mention that you were a freelance substitute teacher in there.
Yeah, so when you're doing freelance soccer journalism, you have to do other jobs, including I still coached after I came back from school locally, and yeah, also did substitute teaching, which is that was hysterical. Going back to our old high school and middle school, seeing a lot of the same teachers who remember me pretty well, and yeah, being around kids again. I like working with kids. Kids are funny. They really do keep you sharp and yeah, they're just, especially now, they're a different breed.
You were saying that you interview people for podcasts. So, like, what organization are you interviewing them through?
Yeah, so I do writing and I do podcasts. So for podcasts, it's called the Scuffed Podcast. It's very niche, but it's like the main U.S. men's national team focused podcast. Shout out to the Scuff fam. And then yeah, I freelance. I started with a few independent sites called Yanks Are Coming. That's where I started, and then Backheeled, and then recently I've been doing more for outlets like The Guardian, Yahoo. So it's cool to soccer is unique because it's still growing here, so you can get a lot of access through doing soccer journalism in a way that you couldn't with basketball, football, baseball, hockey, whatever. The trade-off with that is that like you're not necessarily going to get rich, not even if you're like me, but like even like the people who are at the very top, like it's not the same as other sports. But that said, like we do it because we love it, and it's definitely really fulfilling and worth it.
Would you say it's your favorite thing to talk about?
Yeah, I've the more seriously I've done it, especially like the last year or so, it's a lot of fun to talk about, but it also starts to feel more like a job the more intensely you do it. You know what I mean? Like sports are supposed to be fun, almost like a hobby or like, you know, an outlet for people. And when you do it as like a job, like the way now that I'm doing it, more like the people who, you know, work for, who do this for a living and have families and stuff. It does feel different, but it's still like amazing. Like I said, the access and just being around the team, especially in the build up to the World Cup, like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, like Waka Waka. Like, do you think that Shakira knew what she was doing when she dropped that?
That it would be like
my ringtone,
like the all time.
No, like all of a sudden I'm grinding my hips on the concrete. Like I love Waka Waka. And I don't, with all due respect, like we could not have a productive conversation about soccer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't expect, I hope after the World Cup that more people in our country who are like casually interested can get to that level, but I totally get that.
Sanjay, what's your not that deep of the day? And also just thank you so much for coming, being so vulnerable, being so open. I'm having a really good time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is actually a really good exercise because I literally just started doing my personal statement for law school today. And I was just fucking staring at the screen for a while thinking like, how do I put these thoughts together? So this has been a very constructive exercise. So thank you.
I'm so glad I could help you prepare for law school. Do you need a reference?
Maybe. I might, if there's a way to like link this in the app, I might have to do that.
Yeah, let me blur out some of like the defamatory things that we said, but you got it.
NTD.
Sorry, Sanjay. So when you say it, you have to say, my not that deep of the day today is.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I know you were going to do like NTD, OTD.
Yeah, my not that deep of the day today is getting held back in high school is not that deep.
Usually people elaborate a little bit. Do you just want to leave it at that?
Okay, no. Let me do it again.
Okay, I want to leave that in though.
Okay.
Sanjay, what's your not that deep of the day?
My not that deep of the day today is getting held back in high school is not that deep because then you get an extra grade, an extra group of friends, and then you get put on a whole new path for life where you meet people that you wouldn't have otherwise. And yeah, really grateful for all the people that I met because I got held back. So
I love that so much. Thank you for elaborating. Sometimes I thought that was a really good setup because we talked about it and then we could have done it in the beginning, but you know, this is my show. We're running it like a circus. You don't need to reply to that. Sanjay, what started with Sophie's Choice ended with a great conversation. Where can people find you? Where can people listen to you? Watch what you write, watch you play? Where are your soccer highlights?
I don't think there's any highlights of me playing. There's some pictures on my Instagram. If you want to follow me on private, I don't know if I'll follow you back, but you can follow me on Twitter. Don't call it X ever. You can follow me on Twitter at the real Kumar, THA _real underscore Kumar.
My dad will follow you.
Thank you. Tell him I said thank you.
I will.
Yeah. There's a lot of tweet about a lot of stuff that maybe people don't want to see, but my soccer stuff is there. Yeah.
Okay. Sanjay, I used to have Twitter. And then I got kicked out, and it's connected to like my college or like my like old Hotmail email, so I can't get in. So if I'm ever gonna get canceled, that's where it's gonna be, and I'm not gonna have anything to say. But Sanjay, thank you so much for coming on Not That Deep. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's amazing to see what you're doing. You're like kind of famous now. Okay. And I'm really excited to see where this goes for you.
Thanks, Sanjay. We say bye.